morning and welcome to another Monday morning art talk. So today's art talk, I want to discuss a little bit about self-awareness. Last night I went to an event where we were honoring with the CAPS Association in Los Angeles here, the great Drew Struzan, the man behind countless movie posters, publishing, book art, just you name it. If you're not familiar with Drew Struzan, you know of him through the Star Wars posters, Indiana Jones posters, everything else. And watching this man, this great man, this humble man, just get up on stage after people had given him his accolades and we talked about what is done and what a true legend he is. Just for him to get up there and really, again, in this humble manner, this truth behind it, almost like this unaware of what he does is really, I don't understand why you like my work. All I am is a man that sits and works in my studio and I just do what I do and that's it. It's just, it's no big deal. It's really nothing. Comes down to what ended up getting me into this discussion with one of the other members there, and he introduced me to this this effect, which I didn't quite understand, or I've heard of it, or I didn't know the name of it, but again, the awareness of it, and it's called the Dunning and Kruger effect, and you probably may have never heard of that, and I would encourage you, as I'm telling you about this, to research it. Just look it up to learn more about it, because I'm not going to cover everything here. But what it is this effect that's really we're all aware of, that is actually what launched the idea of this Dunning and Kruger effect. These psychologists who did this scientific analysis on real people, after discovering this incident where this guy went and robbed a bank and he put lemon juice on his face because he believed that by putting lemon juice on his face is what makes invisible ink, would make his face invisible to cameras. But he believed that. And so they almost like question, wow, do people who really believe that certain things are true even though they're not? And led into this whole experimentation about how people, they believe that they're great at something and they're good at something, and yet they're really not. Okay, and then there's the opposite level, and even though they're told that they're not great at something, still, without going further into practice or anything else, still believe that they're better at something when really they're not that good at something. And we've seen this effect happen on American Idol, per se, where you get these people who, they're so bad at what they do, but they've been told all their life, oftentimes by people close around them, by friends, relatives, that they're better at this, that they're really good. You should do it. You're great. Go for it. Go, you can do this. And they truly believe it. And when they're told that they suck at this and that the judges have clearly told them, listen, give this up, go pursue something else, in all honesty, they still say, oh, I tell you, I'm going to come back and I'm going to prove them all wrong, because they're so delusional as to the reality. And then the opposite aspect is where these people who are super intelligent or are really good at something don't really believe that they are as good as that, and also feel that, well, isn't it obvious? Can't everyone kind of do this? Isn't it easy? So they're in the sense delusional in that sense. But that also taps into this thing that you may have heard about, which is called the imposter syndrome, where this happens really to a lot of people, where you truly don't feel that, you feel like you're fooling them all. You feel like as you're working this, and usually this comes from whenever you've achieved something. It doesn't come out of, it's not like this, the fact that you just experiencing just low self-esteem, you don't believe in yourself, and oh man, I'm not that great, I'm really not. It's usually when all of a sudden you have something, that you get that big job, or you're working at that studio, or you got that, something big's happen where you're like, oh my God, man, I'm fooling everyone. They're going to find me out. I'm going to get busted. They all of a sudden going to come and they're going to arrest me and they're going to take me away and say, you're fooling them all. You're a fraud. You're a fake. And this is a huge thing that happens with a lot of people in many different situations. The real cure to that, with what they say, is really just self-awareness, is just coming and knowing that, it's okay, that it's, just know that this is what everyone feels, and it just sort of like acceptance of this sort of syndrome. That way you set a little bit of ease on yourself. But what I wanted to really talk about today was tapping into that Dunning and Kruger effect, so to speak, of just the real self-awareness of the situation of where you are at in your own level and your own art. Now, I talk about following your passion all the time. I talk about believing in yourself and having that dream. But I also think it's important to truly have that true self-awareness and that, that's almost self-control within yourself, to know the reality. You have to have that reality check. And I've seen, again, a lot of people, and I've looked through many portfolios of people who I'm looking through and trying to give them that true advice on what's reality. Hey, listen, you need to work on this, and yep. They're in that sort of denial of what the reality is. That, listen, don't think you're greater than you are, at this point. And if you're that sort of person that truly thinks that they're so much better than they are, this is where the reality check has to occur somehow. I don't know how. I don't know if that's something personally that you can really control. Maybe you're just so delusional that no matter, even that I'm saying this to you right now, you may not believe that this is the case. But the reality is, you're going to have that passion, you're going to have that dream, and you want to perceive these things and attain these things. But I think it's important just to also think about it in certain specific, it's almost like I'm confused to the point on how to really tell you how to almost look at this. I don't want to be the guy that has all the answers to anything that you have and any sort of problems that you have. I just want you to somehow just say, you know what, I want to attain this and I want to achieve this, but the reality is, how do I get that? Is I just kind of need to keep improving. I need to keep just trying to find ways to just better myself in a way. I got to understand the fact that, even though I love to draw and this is my passion and what I want to do, that I might not make a living out of this, because there's many artists in that boat who won't make a living out of this. And all you can do is just keep practicing, really, and keep working on it. But that is self-awareness that I suck at drawing hands and I suck at drawing people. But then there's the other case where you can tell yourself, God, I suck at doing these things, but really you don't. And that's part of it too. And that's usually the higher end of people, usually people that you find up at these higher levels, to where you do feel that imposter syndrome where it comes into that play. And honestly, I can say that I've gone through that. You could say, is it an egotistical thing? What is it? I don't think so. It's like, it's a true belief. Like you wonder, how did a guy, even when I look at myself, this young 10-year-old kid who just had the dream to draw and passion to draw, whose work did suck, who was very horrible at drawing. But again, I had that willingness, and I think more than anything, I had the drive that I knew that I had to get better. And what I did was I did compare myself to people all the time and understood that level of greatness. Especially for me, Mad Magazine, Mort Drucker, Jack Davis, getting into artists like Al Hirschfeld, Albert Dorn, Robert Fawcett, just you name it, or the greats, these legends, looking at their work and realizing, my God, this is greatness. This is greatness. They may not believe they're great. They may have the imposter syndrome. They most likely do, as most people in that position do. But I realized that, God, man, and this is where it comes down to, is that self-awareness of why these people are good. And looking at that and being aware that these people are good. I think that's important too, to where you may look at people's work and not understand why they're good. So it's a training. I think there's a lot of training that has to happen within oneself. But again, it just comes to that true, simple, more than anything, awareness of where you're really at. And then sometimes this is going to take time. Maybe it's not going to happen overnight. but I don't want to discourage you from, if you're going through this right now, that, oh my God, what is he saying? I am never going to get that job in the field. I am never going to be professional. I think it's important to have the desire. I think we see people who have very little talent, so to speak, and they achieve great things. How do they do that? Sometimes it's just about the marketing. Sometimes it's just about how they strategically do things. Sometimes it is being in the right place at the right time and falling into that position and just self-creating. And I think there's so many different factors that are involved here, but I think the most important aspect is you got to be real. You got to somehow get that switch on and just have that real reality check. But more than anything, what I kind of want to just say is keep working at your craft. This is why I tell people a lot of times, be patient. Don't just try to rush into things because you see everyone else on social media doing all these things and achieving these things and getting to these places where you think may be unattainable. But don't rush into it so fast that you're not even prepared yet because you've convinced yourself you're better than you are. And most importantly, like I tell a lot of people, just stop, like what I did, stop showing your artwork to your parents at such a young age. Stop even showing it to them because they're going to tell you how great you are. You're amazing. You're just fantastic. This is, gosh, man, you got a real gift. And I see this a lot of times too, and with the parents or the family members, and they're saying, how talented their son, their daughter is, and they're showing their work, and maybe they're just copying people, and they think they're great because they're just copying people, but they have no ideas of their own. And this is very important. You as a commercial artist, you got to have the ideas. You got to have something that you can present to someone that says something that makes them want to hire you. And I just see just this just misinterpretation, so to speak, because they've just copied stuff, and they can maybe copy well, but that's not going to get you anywhere in your life. If you're a good copier, that's not going to get you to that next level. You're a good copier. Now it's about taking things and just infusing your own ideas in your own ways and your own values. Your own experiences are going to make you better. So this is very important, to make sure that you're adding into your own experience, and through your drawing, through your observation, is going to get you that way too. But I think just be careful, and I don't want you to have the false illusion more than anything, because I do preach, go out there, do it, pursue it, get it. And I know it to be possible because of my own experience, but I can say my own experience was based on reality. I just kind of had an aspect of where I am, and I know that I've still got to learn, and I got a lot of growing to do. I believe that I'm good in many areas in what I do, but I do know the reality, and I know that there's things I got to improve on, upon myself. And that's why I'm always drawing, and that's why I don't stop drawing. I'm not just going to sit there and take it like, I know what I'm doing, man. I'm good. I'm a professional. I'm successful. I got this. I got that. I've worked in the industry. I've done. That's just this like, whoa, okay, what a great experience I've had. But now I'm still always drawing in my sketchbook. I'm still always observing. I'm still always wanting to take life drawing. I'm still wanting just to improve for myself in my own way, and work on the things for myself to improve. I'm not looking at saying, oh my God, I have to learn all this anatomy now if I want to get better. If I don't study anatomy, I'm never going to improve. I'm going to go get better. I know for myself, I'm using life drawing for my own intention and my own purposes of just trying to add character, trying to add movement and gesture into my character. And these are the things that I'm constantly observing. I'm constantly watching TV, and I draw from live TV all the time. I got a sketchbook that I just have in front of the TV, in both of my TVs, upstairs and downstairs, that I'm always just observing, capturing things. Something inspires me, I want to draw it. I got my sketchbook that I'm using just to draw from life, where I go and draw in the coffee shops, the airport, anywhere else I am. And I got my sketchbooks where I'm drawing from my imagination, and I'm putting that stuff in there. It's this balance. But again, just the heart of this is just small just keep practicing, keep working at this, understand, look into this Dunning and Kruger effect and just see where you're at. But again, don't be delusional to the fact that you're gonna work at a studio when your stuff is just not there. And I don't know other ways. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I can't, but I can be honest, and that's what I love, take pride in, is I'm going to be honest with you. And that's what I do when I'm sort of like looking at people's artwork and reviewing it. That's what I do when I mentor people. I want to be as honest and truthful to them as possible. I'm not going to lie to them. I believe in praise and encouragement. I want to encourage you. I want to praise you for what you've done right, but I'm not going to encourage bad habits, and I'm not going to tell you your stuff's good if it's not good. I can't. That's not fair. Unless I'll only tell you that if I can clearly see that you're suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you just aren't listening to advice and keep thinking you're better than you are, and clearly you're not. I can't help you at that point. You're the only person that can help yourself. And again, I see that in many people's portfolios, or when they show me their work, again, where they sort of have that delusional base that they're really great, and they don't want to hear any feedback. And even again, it's the American Idol. I'm acting as Simon Cowell, and I'm telling you, dude, you got to just keep working on this and that. And if you're not taking it in, and if you're not listening, that's up to you. That's your choice. That's you. You can't blame it on anything else, but you just got to have that awareness. So anyway, hope that helps. Check it out. Research it. Look at some of these things. Look at the imposter syndrome. Learn what that's about, because we all sort of go through it. Learn about the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's pretty fascinating, pretty interesting stuff. And what it's going to do is help you realize that you can improve. And the only way to get better at this is by constantly just trying to work at your skill and just working at these small increments at a time, just to help you get there. All right. So that's it. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. Thanks for watching. Hello, this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life, see if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey. All right, so you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go back. Go back.
Go back.
Great. Go back. Go back. Ha ha ha.